Hey, I'm Brett from Pallbearer, and we're about to be heading down to Australia to play some songs from our new album, Mine Burns Alive, as well as some older songs from all of our previous albums too.
Fantastic. Brett, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, as you say, Paul Bear returned to Australia for the first time in 8 years this March for a run of shows starting in Melbourne on the 12th, before hitting Adelaide and Sydney and finishing in Brisbane on March the 15th. Not long now, mate. Are you packed and ready to go, or do you leave that sort of stuff to the last minute?
Typically the last minute. I can't ever decide what I need until right before I have to go. I'm like, it's every time I leave, it's like I've never done it before, even though I've done it dozens of times. So yeah, I'll be packing the night before probably.
Cool. So 8 years is a long time, bro. So, what's changed with Paul Bearer since you were here last?
Um, we got a lot more gray hair, and that's shit. I got no hair, so
No grays there at all.
yeah, yeah.
What can fans expect from your shows this time around then, mate? Like, there's going to be a lot of fans out here that might not have seen you before. So what can we expect?
We've been rehearsing a bunch of our old songs and new songs. Like we have, I mean, like 2 hours or so of stuff to pick from. So there's a pretty vast number of songs that we could play. So yeah, we're going to be playing a little bit of everything. I know that we haven't been back to Australia since we've released two albums since we've been back there. So we'll be playing some stuff from those albums, but we got to play the old, the hits for the old heads too. So we'll be playing all kinds of different stuff.
Very nice. And you also bring in UK Doom outfit Conan for the tour, mate. So why choose them as touring partners?
I'm stoked, man. I've actually never even seen them live. I've never got a chance to, but I like their records, and by all accounts, they're really cool guys. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Right, it's you got pretty full on schedule, bro. You got 4 shows in 4 days. So are they giving you any leisure days either side of the tour, or are you just flying in and out?
Nope. Well, I'm probably not gonna sleep. No, we show up. I think we might have a day to deal with the jet lag, but then the day after our last Aussie show, we go to New Zealand, and then we have a day off there, which I'll probably sleep because I won't be sleeping the 4 days that I'm in Australia. So yeah, it's gonna be intense, but it's all right. That's how it goes.
It is, but you guys like in the band, like, do you get any say in schedules like that? Because I can't imagine that you'd want to just come in and do your shows and go home again. Like, it'd be nice to get a bit of time to do stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I was begging for some days off, but they just said, you know, I don't know if I can swear on the radio,
Hey, go for your life,
but
buddy.
yeah, yeah, they said fuck you. No, I tried. I tried. We all were like, come on. Last time we went down there, we had a couple of days off and it was awesome because we got to actually deal with the jet lag and spend some time just messing around, and enjoying the place, and experiencing a different place. But yeah, not this time. Hopefully next time. It just
Sure.
didn't work out that way. I think it just came down to availability of the clubs and stuff. So we had to just schedule it this way. So I understand.
Makes
But I
sense.
won't be sleeping.
And you're touring off the back of your latest album, Mind Burns Alive, which you mentioned before, mate. Like, how was the fan reaction to that album? Did they get it?
Well, not everybody's gonna get everything, but it seems like live, in the live setting, like people really, really dig the stuff. When we first uh started touring on this new material, it kind of shocked me how early on people were singing along and stuff. So like that's always really reassuring. And then yeah, it seems pretty well received, at least in a live setting.
Hmm. But with the change in musical landscape these days, bro, like, as a band, how do you gauge an album's success, like in the digital world? And
See, I don't know. My problem is I every negative comment like weighs like 100 times more than all the good than every good one. I think that's just comes from being like incredibly like self-critical about stuff anyway. I'm trying to create this perfect thing. And so when people criticize it, I'm just like, fuck, you're right. But I mean, not really. I'm just like, well, you don't get it. I don't know why. But, I think overall, when you make stuff that is, and it's like when you make stuff that is by its nature unusual, you're always going to have people that don't get it. And I think that's okay. As long as you are confident that what you made is as good as you could have made it and is what you wanted to make, and you weren't trying to please someone else, I think that you should be okay with people not accepting it. Um, and because the people that do accept it or get it love it, and I think that's important to remember for myself, because sometimes I'm like, well, not everybody loved it, but like they don't have to, and that's okay. Like as long as the people that it's on their wavelength, that's who it's for. And you know based on the kind of subject matter and the material that we make, I would be kind of bummed if everybody got it, because they're probably having a pretty shitty time. But I think our music is like for people who need it when they need it. And if you hear it and you don't need it, you might not get it, at the time. So
Hmm.
that's my feeling about it.
Very good. Now, going back to the beginning, bro, like Pallbearer started in Arkansas back in 2008. So, what was the musical climate like that gave birth to the band, and where did you fit in initially?
Well, we came out of like a kind of like a sludge scene, basically. But the local bands that were playing were like taking sludge to a whole different level. It wasn't just like, an I Hate God clone or something. I like I Hate God and whatever. I'm not talking shit, but like these bands were taking that type of vibe to a way crazier and more progressive and weirder, headier, psychedelic sort of place. And so we came out of this really rich and exciting music scene. Um, so we like sludge and doom and experimental music was in our veins, so to speak, because that's the kind of stuff that we were watching when we were coming up in the scene and that we were embedded in. So yeah, when it came around to when we formed Pallbearer, Joe, the bass player, and I had been in like a drone noise like psych band before this, and it just kind of morphed into Pallbearer gradually. So we were already used to doing weird stuff, and then we just started turning it into heavy songs instead of these just massive soundscapes. So the idea of pushing the boundaries of your sound or of like a style was already kind of in the zeitgeist of our scene. So it was exciting to see bands of such high caliber doing such interesting things with, a genre that is often just kind of replicates the great masters. So yeah, it was a cool place to start.
Yeah, nice. And your 2014 debut album, Foundations of Burden, was universally well received, mate. Like, were you guys expecting that initial positive reaction to your music?
No, no, we never expected anything. Well, I mean, our first album, Sorrow and Extinction, got good reviews, and we were, had very surprised by it. Not surprised, but we didn't expect any kind of attention. We had no concept of anything. We were just making it because we wanted to make it. And then when Foundations also seemingly got even more good press, it was like, yeah, it was awesome. But I think for the most part, like I was saying, you can't really let good or bad press affect you too much. For us, it was always like, okay, this is cool. This good press leads to more opportunities and stuff, but it's always about moving on and thinking about what comes next. Like what do we want to make next? It's
Mm,
always about the next thing.
yeah. Well, speaking of the next thing, bro, like over the course of your career, the band's sound has gradually become more progressive and alternative. Like, was that a planned musical progression, or was it just where the music took you?
A little bit of both. I think we've always um aspired to be progressive in some capacity, not necessarily progressive in that we want to sound like fucking Dream Theater or something, but like, and that we want to push the boundaries of our established sound, you know? So to me, that's what progressive is. It's not like trying to be symphonic or something. Oh, it could be, but it's just trying to move forward and constantly evolve. And we always wanted to do that from the day one. And I think just the directions that we have taken over time are just us doing what feels natural at the time. So it's a little of both. It is planned, but I think our attitude is to always evolve, but the ways that we have evolved are just what feels natural whenever we sit down to write music.
So along those lines, mate, like how much musical growth do you think the band has got left in it?
Who can say?
Yeah.
I still got ideas now. Eventually, maybe I'll run out. So, and then we'll know. Hopefully, there's still a few albums left in us.
Very nice. All right, mate. Well, that's all I've got for you today, Brett. But thanks very much for your time. Pallbearer are in Australia from March the 12th for 4 shows in 4 days. So make sure you get yourself a ticket and help Brett stay awake while he's here.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. See you guys soon.